Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 1 minute. Please take your places, ensuring your microphones are muted. Welcome and good morning, Dean Gutierrez, Colonel Roselle, Major Smith, Master Sergeant Townsend, other distinguished officers, NCOs, family, friends, service members, faculty, staff, and alumni. I'm Cadet Roxanne Pozos, and I will be the narrator for today's event. As we all know, there's a lot going on in the world around us. These are strange times, and many lives here and globally are being affected in drastic ways. Unfortunately, because of these circumstances, we are unable to meet together for the traditional commissioning ceremony that we originally planned for. Regardless, commissioning is a momentous occasion in every officer's career. This virtual ceremony is a testament to the adaptability of these soon-to-be second lieutenants, 49er Battalion, and the Army in its entirety. So on behalf of the Professor of Military Science, Major Smith, we welcome you all to this virtual commissioning ceremony to celebrate the young men and women who will be commissioning today as officers in the U.S. Army. At this time, please honor the playing of the national anthem and invocation. I will now provide the invocation to bless these fine, young, soon-to-be lieutenants. Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, we ask you for your continued blessing and guidance as these soon-to-be lieutenants enter a new chapter in their lives. Lord, please grant these young men and women the wisdom to make smart decisions as leaders who other men and women can count on and look to as a respectable example. Grant them the humility to always be selfless in their actions while forever striving to aid and better their soldiers, serve their country, and uphold the values of the Army organization. Lord, please grant courage, strength, and resiliency for any obstacle they may face. Remind them to seek comfort in you, remain strong, and carry on with their heads held high. Finally, Lord, please instill compassion, integrity, and kindness in these commissionees, because before one can be a good leader and a soldier, one must be a good person and human being. Please continue to shed your blessing upon us and be ever present in each of our lives. In your holy name we pray, amen. For some of us, this has been a challenging journey. Our cadets have not just survived, but excelled in their hard work and dedication. The cadets we are commissioning today have prevailed. Only those with the physical, mental, and moral strength succeed. In honor of our Spring 2020 commissionees who have faced the challenges of being both college students and ROTC cadets, we will now be showing a short video from our Army senior leaders.
Congratulations on your upcoming graduation and commissioning. This is a huge milestone in your lives and also the beginning of you joining our ranks. Welcome. And we need each of you ready to lead the world's finest and most lethal force. I regret that I'm not able to give you this message in person and that this year commencement and commissioning will be different. But celebrating your achievement differently shouldn't diminish what you have accomplished here, nor tarnish the pride you should feel. What I would offer to you is a single touch point you can always return to, no matter where you may find yourself in life. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. With that said, the circumstances that you find yourself in now won't last forever. To build this resilience, train. Train hard and train often. Train your body to operate under duress, your mind to remain calm in chaos, and your heart to endure hardship. In a short time, you will have the privilege of leading our nation's men and women, and they will look to you as a steady hand at the helm. Serve them well. I am incredibly proud of you. Congratulations on graduation and commissioning, and I will see you out in the field.
Congratulations, and thank you for making the decision to join the best team in the world and be part of something bigger than yourself. I want to thank your parents for raising such fine young men and women who have answered the nation's call to service. And if you don't remember anything else I said today, I want you to remember two things: people first and winning matters. People first is a philosophy. I believe you take care of your people, your soldiers, your families, and your civilians, and you create a command climate where everyone takes care of each other and treats everyone with dignity and respect, you will have a great cohesive team which will win on any battlefield. And winning matters in the Army is an attitude. When we send the Army somewhere, we don't go to try hard, we don't go to participate, we go to win. That's what the American people expect, and that's what you will do. And that's why winning matters. We are very proud of you. Stay healthy, stay safe, people first, winning matters, and we remain Army strong.
My name is Funk, and I'm an American soldier. Commissioned as an armor officer through Montana State University AROTC in 1982, go Bobcats. I'm honored to be the 17th Commanding General of the United States Army's Training and Doctrine Command, and the pursuit of victory starts here. What a great day to be a soldier. These young men and women in the audience today are the latest products of a century-old tradition of service to the nation. Let me join the chorus of voices offering congratulations to you and your loved ones. Addressing such a talented group of future leaders is true privilege. Thank you for taking your place in the long and distinguished line of graduates that have answered the call to serve. Welcome to the profession of arms, the most exclusive fraternity or sorority in the world. I always ask two questions of the soldiers and civilians that I meet. Why did you join, and why do you continue to serve? The U.S. Army is the greatest team ever assembled. Teamwork is why I joined the Army. This is America's Army. We all learn and grow together, and we are soldiers for life. I continue to serve because of the people. The Army is a people business, and the Army is not just about people, it is people. One of the fundamentals I have learned in over 40 years of service is this: high standards, positive outlook, and excellence are contagious. Whatever comes your way, remain calm in the storm and never waver. You're a leader now. Your soldiers are watching. It is your leadership that will help us accomplish our mission in the face of COVID-19 or any future adversary. I have no doubt that you will lead our nation through the challenges of the 21st century. You should feel privileged to wear the cloth of our great nation, the jersey of America's fighting team. Leave that jersey in a better place every day. Good luck to you all in your future endeavors. Godspeed, and may God bless these young leaders and our great nation. As I said when I started, my name is Funk, and I'm an American soldier. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hello, and let me be among the first to congratulate you on this incredible day. I'm certain that this day is much different than the way you envisioned it, and I apologize that you can't be in a large audience among your friends and additional family members, but it makes it no less important. And I want to make sure that you understand that what you have undertaken, what you have achieved, is going to be important for our nation. You are going to swear an oath to the Constitution and the people that stand behind that, to do your duty, to protect our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And right now, we face an unseen enemy. That's why we are conducting your commissioning ceremony in this way. But I know that you're up to the task. I know that you will take the training we've given you and that you will perform your duties thoughtfully and faithfully. I have faith and confidence in you, as do all of our senior Army leaders. And on this day, I want to congratulate you for doing what only 1 out of every 1,000 people in our country ever does, standing up and taking the oath of office to become an officer in the United States military. Congratulations, United States Army, Second Lieutenant.
The Professor of Military Science, Major Smith, will now give his opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Dean Gutierrez, other university leaders from across all of our represented campuses, parents, grandparents, other family, friends, professors, all of you gathered here to honor these cadets. Thanks for joining us. It is great to be with you on this fantastic morning. I'm looking over at my secondary screen. I see 132 of you on Facebook, and I'm so glad that you're here with us. I just ask that you participate with us. These lieutenants are going to go back and watch this video afterwards and be able to see the words of encouragement that you shout to them in the chat box, the emojis that you click there. So please let them know how you feel. Let them know what you would tell them as you hugged them at the end of a receiving line, or as you shook their hand after getting pinned. Yeah, we've been disrupted over the last few months. A lot of disruption is going on, but we're not going to let that stop us from marking this occasion. It's done a little bit differently, but it's so important, especially amongst this, especially during this disruptive time, to take a moment, take a breath, and say, this moment matters. And that's what we're doing here this morning, to honor these 27 future warrior leaders. But I'd be remiss to not talk a little bit about what we are missing. And I'll just share it from my perspective, thinking about what I'm missing this morning, being with you, the ones who are here to support these cadets and future lieutenants. I miss the chance to shake your hand, tell you that you are 100% right to have that much pride in your heart right now, to feel emotion welling up as you look at your son or daughter or nephew or cousin or student, because these 27 individuals are absolute studs. I miss the chance to talk to the family of Maurice Owens and just stand in wonder at this young man and how he's able to graduate early, pursue a master's degree, play college level lacrosse, drive 45 minutes multiple times a week to the host ROTC program, and do it all without breaking a sweat. I missed the chance to shake the hand and speak to the wife of Will Wilson, tell her of the accolades her husband has achieved over the last few years, ones that I'm sure she has not heard about from him. I'm sure ones that he's downplayed the significance of. A top 10% in the nation cadet, the winner of the George C. Marshall Leadership Award, a national award that's only given to the top cadet in each program of the country. I missed the chance to shake the hands of Allie Bedell's parents and tell them stories of how she took the challenge of leading her peers on a crosstown satellite campus 40 minutes away from our host school and never missed a beat, knocked every single task out of the park. Just extraordinary. And I could go on for 24 more. So I simply don't have the time, and we don't have the patience on a Facebook Live for sure. But let me assure you, you are right to be proud. you're right to be welling up with emotion. These cadets that you've raised, that you've befriended, that you've taught in your classrooms, they're some of the best our universities have to offer. 5 distinguished military graduates, 2 cadets in the top 10% of the nation, football players, a decathlete, folks volunteering in their town governments outside of classroom time, and overall 27 volunteers who have said, serving my country, serving others, serving you is how I want to spend the first few years after I graduate college. Parents and grandparents, family and friends, I stand right beside you with pride in my heart and absolute confidence that these leaders are ready to do their duty. And to you cadets for just a short time more, soon to be lieutenants, you are ready. You have what it takes and you've achieved the high bar and standards that we set for lieutenants in our Army. Be proud, be excited, be happy. This is a moment to mark. And when we're done here today, remain ready to show up and do your duty when the Army calls you to get to work. We here back at campus will be ready to congratulate you and cheer with you on your earliest achievements in your new careers. And we're always here behind you to support you going forward. Today, we have the distinct honor of hearing from a special guest, a guest who graduated from one of our great institutions. Colonel David Roselle is an Austin, Texas native and an armor cavalry officer in the U.S. Army. He commissioned from Davidson College in 1995. Colonel Roselle has served in leadership positions from tank platoon leader to Combined Arms Battalion Command, where his last command was in 2015 in the Republic of Korea. Colonel Roselle has had numerous assignments around the globe and deployed 3 times to Iraq and once to Afghanistan. Remarkably, his journey took him to 3 deployments as a military amputee. Colonel Roselle had lost his right leg below the knee in a roadside bomb in Iraq in 2003. In addition to command and staff positions, Colonel Roselle has served in a number of broadening experiences to include delivering the Military Amputee Training Center at Walter Reed Medical Center in Washington, D.C., and as a professor of military science at the University of Colorado Boulder. He remains active in supporting his fellow military injured as an active board member and consultant of a number of charities and programs who wish to help this population. We're all honored to have you speak to us, sir. Colonel Roselle, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hey, good morning, Major Smith, and great job on setting this up, and great job in getting this going. And to the universities out there, thank you for trusting us and streaming in. But good morning to the commissioning officers, cadre, family, and friends. Although this is not a typical ceremony, it is a great example of the adaptability of our modern force, and I appreciate your patience. To the people that raise these young men and women, the mothers, fathers, grandfathers, thank you for trusting us. To quote a former chief of staff of the Army, never before in the history of the Army have we asked so much of our families. They are serving side by side with our soldiers, enduring their hardships and providing unconditional love and support that truly make our Army strong. And you heard those messages already from the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff of the Army, the Trade Op Commander, and the Cadet Command Commander, all those generals that I know and work with every day who mean what they say. And it was so nice to see that messaging this morning. But may I join them in welcoming you officially to the Army family, and thank you again. As mentioned in my introduction, I sat where you were 25 years ago today, cadets, soon to be lieutenants. I was a nervous cadet company commander trying to make sure that the commissioning ceremony went off without a hitch. I never thought I'd be zooming in to give remarks at a commissioning ceremony 25 years later, for sure. I also never thought that the Wildcat Battalion would become the 49er Battalion. But I am impressed with the growth of the battalion and the improvement over the years, where we incorporated Gardner-Webb, Lenore-Ryan, Catawba College, Pfeiffer University, and Winthrop, among others. And congratulations to all of you. I'm glad we have such a big team now and such a large population that's commissioned together. So congratulations, congratulations. Always have pride in your commissioning source, though. As you heard General Funk talk about, he's an AROTC cadet. And as you are now learning those lessons from ROTC. Know that that's the foundation of your military experience. Always be proud of being an ROTC cadet because it makes you different, because you had jobs, you had to work, you didn't get spoon-fed by an academy. You're the best. You know how to do it. You'll be a better lieutenant because of it. But remember that the cadets that you dealt with are the same officers that you got to serve with, good or bad. Keep that in mind as you go to work the first day. But what I want to talk to you about today is my reflection on what has changed and what hasn't changed in the last 25 years. First, I'm going to give 3 quick examples, and this is going to be brief, I promise, but I'm going to give 3 quick examples of change with modernization, Army messaging, and education. Modernization. As a platoon leader, I was in a test brigade at Fort Hood, Texas, called Task Force 21. And we fielded a new piece of equipment called the applique, which would eventually be able to see the battle space with Blue Force images. We could send op orders and messages. It's now known as the Blue Force Tracker. We were just getting it to work 25 years ago when I was a platoon leader. As a battalion commander a few years ago, we did have Blue Force Tracker, and I can tell you, it had everything we dreamed about when I was platoon leader. But platoon leaders were using WhatsApp and Kakao to communicate. So it shows how things change. Army messaging. As a platoon leader, my battalion commander provided all the messaging I needed to know at formations on Friday and Monday in the motor pool. And my battalion had 1 computer. Today, I can see the Chief of Staff of the Army messaging on my phone every day, or I can see national security policy guidance on Twitter. Education. As a platoon leader, my platoon sergeant was a 42-year-old Sergeant First Class with a GED. But as a battalion commander, I had a 42-year-old Command Sergeant Major who had 2 master's degrees and was working on his PhD. So I can tell you, some things have changed. But now I'm proud to announce 2 fundamentals that haven't changed. And that's trust and courage. And it ties into the Chief's message. Trust is the bedrock of our Army. Our system has not changed. And I can tell you, every week we produce the finest soldiers that our country has ever known. It starts at the beginning where recruiters take the most precious treasure from mothers and fathers, and they trust our drill sergeants to turn those young citizens into soldiers. And upon arrival, those soldiers will trust you as lieutenants. We, as officers, have that same trust in our general officers to lead organizations and provide the resources we need to win our nation's wars. Courage. The spirit of the American soldier has also not changed. I don't have time to tell the stories today. Unfortunately, I know it's probably what Major Smith was hoping for, but I can assure you that you are joining an all-volunteer force that is willing and able to close with and destroy the enemy. Learn when to trust your soldiers. Learn when to give them a second chance. But it's your responsibility to provide them with the resources available and the training they require to be successful. That is your responsibility now that you're a lieutenant. And that hasn't changed, I promise. To put it simply, a lieutenant must learn to read, write, and make decisions. I know the Chief already gave you 2 things to remember. When you walk away today, know that that's what officers expect of their subordinates. They need to be able to read, they need to be able to write, and they need to be able to make decisions. Be an expert in your career field. Continue to read professional publications and manuals. Be prepared to stay ahead of your peers by reading what your senior leaders are reading or what they're publishing at the senior service colleges. Also, keep your mind sharp with the classics. You might enjoy studying leadership through the ages. Most importantly, be a good writer. Every single piece of paper, whether a leave form, an award, a meeting summary, all of those are a small evaluation by your leaders on your ability to write. Your reputation depends on your ability to communicate effectively. As a young officer, your ability to make decisions was already ingrained before we got you. The ROTC program did a great job getting you together, but really the people that did the work on that were your parents, who did most of the work, and your extended family, your friends, your community, your mentors. All of those contribute to what I like to refer to as your virtue. But you must make decisions you can live with. Don't change who you are just because you're empowered now to make decisions. Be steady, be consistent, and be ready to carry out the orders yourself, even if it means leading from the front. Now, leading from the front cost me my right foot. So I'd say choose wisely on the times that you lead. Minefields are truly the exception. But take this with you today. Lieutenants need to read, write, and make decisions. It's that simple, but it isn't that easy. And to quote another former Chief of Staff of the Army, George C. Marshall, back in 1945, these words will never change. Never for an instant can you divest yourselves from the fact that you are officers on the athletic field, at the club, in civilian clothes, or at home on leave. The fact that you are a commissioned officer in the Army imposes a special obligation to higher standards. So to all you out there, I say good luck. May God bless you. May God bless America. Thank you for having me today.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war."
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, do you still believe in one another? Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
No limit in the sky that I won't fly for you. No amount of tears in my eyes that I won't cry for you. Oh no, with every breath that I take, I want you to share that air with me. There's no promise that I won't keep. I climb a mountain that's none too steep. When it comes to you, there's no crime. Let's take both of our souls and intertwine. When it comes to you, don't be blind. Watch me speak from my heart. When it comes to you, comes to you. Want you to share that. Cupid in a light arrow got your name on it. Oh yeah. Don't miss out on the love and regret yourself on it. Open up your mind, clear your head. Ain't gotta wake up to an empty bed. Share my life, it's yours to keep. Now that I give to you all of me. When it comes to you, there's no crime. Let's take both of our souls and intertwine. When it comes to you, don't be blind. Watch me speak from my heart. When it comes to you, comes to you. I want you to share that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. If I can make a living from walking in the woods, you can bet I'd be sitting pretty good high on a hill, looking at a field downwind. If I can make a nickel off of turning in bass, never worry about the price of gas, I'll be wheeling and dealing and sitting there reeling them in. Hunting, fishing, loving every day, that's the prayer that a country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich and Flint River paid. Hunting, fishing and loving every day. I get a little farm pond buzz, sound of gravel when I'm backing up, pulling a string on a 9.92 stroke Murphy. I love it when my baby wants to roll with me, throws her boots on, climbs in a tree, tucking her hair in my hat and she's ready to go. And we get to hunting, fishing, loving every day, that's the prayer that a country boy prays. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich and Flint River paid. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Yeah. So while y'all are up there, breathing in that old dirty air, I'll be down here, knee deep in the muck of leaf.
Major Smith will now proceed with the recommendations of the cadets for commissioning.
Who recommends these cadets to commission as second lieutenants in the United States Army?
I am Master Sergeant Townsend. Recommend these cadets be commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army.
We will now conduct our oath of office and pin our newest lieutenants. The ceremony of pinning an officer's rank is a time-honored custom of the United States Army. The tradition will be continued here today with the help of family and friends. As your name is called, please turn on your camera and audio. When the pinning is complete, please return your systems to mute with your camera off. Only upon the completion of the oath of office can a presidential commission be confirmed as an officer in the United States Armed Forces. Cadets Anampa Vitor, Evans, Ferris, Galloway, Garrett, Kennedy, Marquez, Stigall, and Wilborn, please turn your cameras on. These cadets will be receiving their oath of office from Major Smith.
Guys, it's an absolute honor. You only got 169 people watching you. So you guys ready to do it? If you will, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jesus Anapa Vitor.
I, Gabriel Evans.
I, Samuel Reese Ferris.
I, Sartre Maria Galloway.
I, Jared Garrett.
I, Christopher Kennedy.
I, Hector Luis Marquez Peñalosa.
I, Scott James Stigall.
I, Nathaniel David Wellborn.
Yes, having been appointed an officer.
Having been appointed an
officer.
In the Army of the United States.
In the Army of the United States.
In the grade of second lieutenant.
In the grade
of second lieutenant.
Do solemnly swear.
Do
solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution
of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
both foreign and domestic,
both foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
And
allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
and I
take
take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that
I
I will
will
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge
the duties
of the office of which I'm about to enter.
of the office on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help
help
me
me
God.
God.
Congratulations.
Cadet Anampa is joined by his parents, Genovea, Jesus, and wife, Anya, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Anampa is a criminal justice major and branching active duty quartermaster. Cadet Evans is joined by his mother, Queen Evans, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Evans is a criminal justice major and branching active duty quartermaster. Cadet Ferris is joined by his parents, John and Michelle Ferris, and fiance Sydney, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Ferris is a mechanical engineer major and branching active duty ordnance. Cadet Galloway is joined by her father, Troy Galloway, and older sister, Startrice Galloway, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Galloway is a criminal justice major, branching active duty adjutant general. Cadet Garrett is joined by his parents, Miriam and Dwight, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Garrett is a sports management major and branching National Guard Corps of Engineers. Cadet Kennedy is joined by his father, Chris Kennedy, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Kennedy is a physics engineer major and branching Reserves Corps of Engineers. Cadet Marquez is joined by his friend Jesus, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Marquez is a criminal justice major and branching National Guard armor. Cadet Stegall is joined by his parents, Don and Tim Stegall, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Stegall is a music and history major and branching active duty field artillery. He is also a distinguished military graduate. Cadet Wellborn is joined by his parents, David and Chastity Wellborn, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Wellborn is an economics major and branching active duty infantry. He is also a distinguished military graduate. Cadets Blazik and Wilson will now receive their oath of office from Major DeMoss.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mitchell Robert Blazik.
I, William Hamilton Wilson.
Having been appointed an officer.
Having been appointed an officer.
In the Army of the United States.
In the Army of the United States.
In the grade of second lieutenant.
In the grade of second lieutenant.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
Well and faithfully.
Discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties.
Of the office on which.
Of the office of which.
I'm about to enter.
I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Cadet Blazik is joined by his parents, Robert and Paula Blazik, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Blazik is a political science major and branching active duty armor. Cadet Wilson is joined by his wife, Amelia Wilson, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Wilson is a criminal justice major and branching active duty infantry. He is also a distinguished military graduate. Cadets Hansen and Robinson will now receive their oath of office from Captain Meisner.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jeremiah Nathaniel Hansen.
I, Larissa Christine Robinson.
Have been appointed as an officer in the Army.
Having been appointed as an officer in the Army.
Of the United States in the grade of second lieutenant.
Of the United States of the grade of second lieutenant.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend.
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose
without any mental reservation or purpose
of evasion, and that I will and willfully, faithfully discharge the duties of this office
and that I
and
will
that I will willfully and faithfully discharge the duties of this office
upon which I am about to enter, so help me God.
upon which I am about to enter, so help me God.
Cadet Hansen is joined by his parents, Gerald and Danita Hansen, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Hansen is a criminal justice administration major in branching Reserves Corps of Engineers. Cadet Robinson is joined by her parents, Warren and Tanya Robinson, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Robinson is a nursing major in branching Active Duty Nurse Corps. Cadet Adrian will now receive his oath of office from First Lieutenant Hudson.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Remy Adrian,
Have been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear
in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
Discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Cadet Adrian is joined by his sister, Sydney, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Adrian is an earth science major in branching National Guard Signal.
Thank you, Squid. Come here, Mama. Come here, Dad. Liz?
Cadet Bedell will now receive her oath of office from retired Colonel Bedell.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Allie Bedell,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Hooah.
Who?
Cadet Bedell is joined by her father, Brian Bedell, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Bedell is a chemistry and Africana studies major and branching active duty field artillery. Cadet George will now receive his oath of office from Captain Sanchez.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Samuel George,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant George.
Cadet George is joined by his parents, Jack and Vicky, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant George is a finance major and branching active duty armor. Cadet Haynes will now receive his oath of office from Second Lieutenant Bright.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Sedarius Tariq Martez Haynes,
Having been appointed an officer
have been an appointed officer
in the United States
in the United States
Army
Army
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Cadet Haynes is joined by his mother, Dia Haynes, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Haynes is a computer science major and branching active duty signal with branch detail to chemical.
1, 2, 3.
Cadet Canudala will now receive his oath of office from Chief Warrant Officer Canudala.
Repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Timothy James Canudala,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States,
as indicated above
as indicated above,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully discharge
well and faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
of which I am about to enter.
at which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Cadet Canutula is joined by his mother, Pam Canutula, and girlfriend, Greta East, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Canutula is a criminal justice major in branching National Guard Corps of Engineers. Cadet Maltzby will now receive her oath of office from Captain Argento.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Shakira Maltzby,
Have been appointed an officer
have been appointing an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant.
in the grade of second lieutenant.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same.
to the same.
That I take this obligation freely
That I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congrats, LT.
Thank you.
Cadet Maltzby is joined by her grandmother, Michelle, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Maltzby is a sociology major in branching active duty military police. Cadet McGuire will now receive his oath of office from retired Captain McGuire.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Stockton James McGuire,
having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States,
in the Army of the United States,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and
to
allegiance
the same,
to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Cadet McGuire is joined by his parents, Lauren and Perry McGuire, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant McGuire is an economics major in branching reserves quartermaster.
So sorry.
Yeah. Couple pictures.
Cadet Owens will now receive his oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Edwards.
There's a great opportunity here as a fellow 49er, from a member of the 49er Battalion. Maurice, this great honor bestowed upon you. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Maurice Lamont Owens,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States against all enemies,
of the United States against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office on which
of the office on which
I'm about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Cadet Owens is joined by his father, Perry Owens, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Owens is a history major and branching active duty air defense artillery. He is also a distinguished military graduate. Cadet Rios will now receive her oath of office from Second Lieutenant Gurung.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Janisha Ashan Rose,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Cadet Rios is joined by her mother, Cortisha George, and brother, Deshaun Rios, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Rios is an exercise science major and branching reserves medical services.
I state your name,
I, Jared Morgan Richard,
having been appointed an officer
have been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take to this obligation freely
that I take to this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Cadet Richard received his oath from retired Major Richard. Second Lieutenant Richard is joined by his parents, Pamela and Jeremy, who will pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Richard is a criminal justice major and branching active duty explosive ordnance disposal.
Can you hear me, Connor?
Cadet Ritchie will now receive his oath of office from Colonel Ritchie.
I'm good now.
Okay. Connor, please repeat after me. I, please state your name.
I, Connor Ritchie,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army
having been appointed an officer in the Army
of the United States
of the United States
in the grade of Second Lieutenant,
in the grade of Second Lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Ritchie.
Thanks.
Cadet Ritchie is joined by his parents, Brian and Molly Ritchie, who will pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Ritchie is an economics major in branching active duty aviation. Cadet Tan will now receive her oath of office from Second Lieutenant Thomas.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Eleanor Tan,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of Second Lieutenant,
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of Second Lieutenant,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Cadet Tan is joined by her mother, Millie Tan, who will pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Tan is an East Asian Studies major in branching active duty military intelligence with branch detail to chemical. She is also a distinguished military graduate. Cadet Thomas will now receive his oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Redding.
Hey, Jacob, I'm proud of you, man. Hey, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jacob Benjamin Thomas,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear
in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Cadet Thomas is joined by his grandparents, Irene Thomas and retired U.S. Colonel George Thomas, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Thomas is a nurse major in branching active duty nurse corps.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me.
Cadet Ward will now receive his oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Baranowski.
I state your full name.
I, Kyle Ward,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
upon
which I am about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Ward.
Thank you, sir.
Cadet Ward is joined by his parents, Amy and Michael Ward, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Second Lieutenant Ward is a mechanical engineer major in branching active duty Corps of Engineers.
Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the United States Army newest commissioned officers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the Army song.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the Army goes.
This concludes our Spring 2020 49er Battalion commissioning ceremony. Congratulations once again to our new second lieutenants.